Welcome to ruralvacantland.com. Today I'd like to show you a property that I've got up for sale. It's been on the website for a bit, so I'm reassessing it. Let's take a look. It's in San Bernardino County, California. And I'm on the map search part of my website, so I'm gonna zoom in on San Bernardino County, California. There's too many properties on here to see what I'm doing, so I'm gonna get rid of the ones that are sold. I'm going to zoom in on the ones that are still for sale. And this one I'm looking at, this one I'm trying to figure out today, is by Barstow. So here's Barstow. Let's zoom out a little bit. Here's LA down here, Los Angeles, Bakersfield over here, Victorville, Hesperia. Las Vegas is up here. So it's kind of between Los Angeles and Las Vegas. If you're coming from San Diego to Las Vegas, you go the 15 up, and that's the way that I know to Las Vegas. Los Angeles, same thing though. You take the 15 out, and just in Barstow, when the 40 turns off, this is like where all the truckers go to cross the country with their supplies. You take the 40 instead of the 15. You just turn off a little bit, and you can get to this property. So let's pull this one up. Just click on it, and you get into the listing of whatever property you're looking at on the website. I'm asking $49,000 for this one. It comes with title insurance. Bought it through title company, so you can. It makes it really easy to get title insurance on it. You get some pictures. Two different guys went out, took pictures of this property for me. So these are actual pictures of the property that are on the website. And you can see that there's a road that goes through the property. There's a little bit of information about it. There's GPS coordinates on here. And taxes have been about $83 a year. Let's go to the GPS coordinates of this thing and look at it a little closer in some different maps. So this is 80 acres. It's an 80-acre property. It's a rectangle from north to south. Should be able to do 1320 in my head times 2, but see if I can do this. So from north to south, it's like 2,600 feet, roughly. From east to west, it's like 1,320 feet, because it's the same as a 40. But yeah, so 1,320 feet east to west, and whatever I just said, north to south. If we switch over to satellite, you see this trail coming through the property, cuts through the middle of the property and bends off. Let's clear these measurements. Let's see if we can go 3D on this thing. So there's a hill. There's a bit of a hill here, but it's not a crazy hill. I mean, there's still a road driving on it. And so the property line's over here somewhere. So you get this kind of area. Let's see if we zoom in some. Let's see if we can go back to map. So I guess the road kind of skirts the side of the property and then cuts across. So let's remember that some. So this is kind of the side of the property here, up to there, coming across. So I guess this point's in the middle of the property, so maybe it's more like over here. And then off in the distance, you see Barstow. Barstow's over here. Interstate 40 comes over here, and 15 over here. This mountain over here is the Calico Ghost Town. I don't know if you've ever stopped in there. They do a really good Halloween show, but it's old silver and other stuff mixed with silver. Like I can't think of the metals off the top of my head, but predominantly silver. I think Pan American Silver owned this thing for a while. I think they still own the town, and they get revenue off of that. PAAS, public company. I'm not sure they still own it, but they used to own it. And they just have this really beautiful colored rocks. So when you drive by, you can see why the geologists would stop and take a look and try to figure out what kind of minerals are in there. And it turned out there were some economic ones, so people worked on that numerous different times over history. So that's what you're seeing across the valley. So you see you got views out over that. And then to the east over here is a whole bunch of government lands, BLM land, thousands and thousands of acres that you can camp on, you can hike on, you can hunt on, you can explore, you go ride your horses on it and that kind of stuff. It's not open for four-wheeling, dirt biking, off-roading, but a lot of this other land around where the property is, these different trails going back into the mountains and hills and stuff, look like they'd be a lot of fun to drive your dirt bike down, or your rally car, or whatever kind of off-road vehicle you love to use. I mean, look at some of these trails going up and down the hills. This is past the property, beyond it. You can get out in here. It's a lot of different ownerships of land. Doesn't seem to be fenced off though. I think you can go explore a lot of those trails. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But this is where the property's at. And let's see if we can go back to a map and zoom out some. And so it's got this road. You see how it gets all wiggly and squiggly past the property as it goes up into the hills, but it's pretty straight going up to the property. And this is the foothills of the area. If we go back to satellite, you can see how the trails run across. There's a main exit here off of A Street going towards Daggett. So if you get off there, there's some little trails that head off towards this property. A couple different routes you can take. If we follow this one out and back, you can see, I think there's street view over here. So you can see the turnoff. If I can figure out where I'm at. Yeah, so this would be the turnoff. It says Ord Mountain, like Gold Mountain, right? O-R-D Mountain, and Pendleton Roads, Ord Mountain and Pendleton. So this would be your turnoff to the property. And the property would be out back, probably behind that hill. And so this road is paved. It's paved up to that turnoff. And there's the freeway right there, and I think the exit is over here. So we follow this truck a little ways. Yeah, so here's the turnoff. So it's not very far from the exit, and let's go a little further. Pendleton Road. So here's the exit off the freeway. So you turn off there, and if you're coming down that road, you'd be this A Street. You'd be turning right, going down Pendleton Road till you get to that dirt road turnoff. Let's zoom out. Yeah, so you can see the exit here. An on-ramp, off-ramp, bridge over the freeway to get to the property, and then I just took you down to this dirt road, Ord Mountain, and then Ord Mountain shoots out past some homes and stuff towards the property. So not very far from there is Barstow, and Barstow's got, a Walmart. See how far it is. I think they've also got a Home Depot. It's 22 minutes. It just shoots you over the freeway and over to Walmart. If you're going to build something. Home Depot, I guess, is on the other side of town, 26 minutes. But there's a high school, there's all kinds of grocery stores, there's hotels, there's restaurants, there's lots of supplies in Barstow to go make this property what you want to make it. I guess we could do Los Angeles. How far to Los Angeles from this property? Saying 2 hours 3 minutes. This is Saturday morning traffic. Yeah, they're just going down to 15. That takes you to downtown Los Angeles. From here to Las Vegas, (2 hours 25 minutes). So you're kind of halfway between downtown Los Angeles and downtown Las Vegas, roughly. So 80 acres, so a huge piece of property. But what else is for sale? So what else is out there right now in this area. So I pulled up San Bernardino County. I went into Land Watch, and I narrowed it down to 50 acres and up. This is an 80-acre property, so let's see what's out there. 50 acres and up is what I was thinking. I sorted price low to high, and you get all these horrible listings that aren't representative of anything. This one really caught my eye. I was just looking at it. 68 acres in Daggett for 10 grand. Daggett is, so if I zoom in on the property, Daggett's not very far away at all. So the property's right here. Daggett is just right here. It's like the same exit off the freeway on the other side. So you see this riverbed here? That's where this property is. 69 acres. And they pointed out, right, that's why the price is low. It's zone floodway, and you can see it's right in the, it doesn't look like much of anything usable on it. You probably get washed away in the next rain. Probably fun for dirt biking and that kind of stuff though. So let's go back to the next one. $10,000 is pretty cheap for that much land. This one is a lot at 6,500 acres. It's a typo. 80 acres, Newberry Springs, $24,900. Let's take a look at that one. Sounds pretty cheap for 80 acres. Let's see, I'm just talking about random stuff. Here's some GPS coordinates. Let's see where this is at. Hope you guys don't mind, this is a longer video, so I'm going to pull up all the comparables, walk them through, because I want to know, right? So let's zoom in on this. There's a little road there. There's a dirt road on the property. That's a good start. There's a wash. That'd make good water catchment, maybe. Some hills. You're backed up to some hills. It's good. So where are we at? Here's Barstow. Just not too far away from the property I'm talking about. So if my property is over here, that other one we just looked at was over there. This one's further out to 40. Not that far from the freeway, and there's some little trails back in there. It's not in a farming belt anymore, but it's neither is mine. And government land. There's Rodman. There's a bunch of government BLM land in here too, but yeah, I don't know what to say about this one. You'll look at it depending on your use. It doesn't look super easy as drive straight up to it, but there's some dirt trails on the property. It must lead to something. It's more adventurous access, but there's some trails there. So I think that's a worthy contender, especially because of the price. It's 80 acres for like half the price of mine. Mine's a lot closer to town. This one's a lot more remote, probably a lot easier to shoot every gun and you got in your artillery out here without anyone complaining. Yeah, interesting one. Let's see what else we got. That's a typo. 7,600 acres. Yeah, right. That's a typo. 80 acres, 25 grand. Let's take a look at that one. So this is up by Cuddleback Lake. This is up to 395. So this is north of the property. Let's see if he's got a location. I mean, he doesn't give you a GPS or APN, does he? I guess I might be able to figure it out off one of these maps. But I'll show you on... there's that map I had. Okay, so the 395 is over here somewhere. There's a 395. Here's Cuddleback Lake. So the property is up here, the ways north My property's over here by Barstow, closer to town. His is up here by Cuddleback Lake, by Randsburg, a bunch of old bust mining towns. There's not much of any people up here. It's really good off-roading. If you want to go drive around, dirt bike and stuff, there's not much of anyone around. There's a bunch of government land over in this area, BLM land. You can go hike and horseback ride and stuff without dirt bikes and four-wheelers flying all over. But that's where that 80-acre property is. It's just a different kind of person likes to own land up there compared to closer to town. 25 grand's pretty good. Let's do the next one. It's 10,000 acres, a typo. 120 acres for 28 grand. That's pretty big for not a whole lot of money. Let's see what's going on here. There's no information. Can't figure out where that is. Yeah, you gotta be a realtor to deal with that one. I'm just gonna skip it.
Yeah, he's not letting me grab one.
50 acres by Amboy. 35 grand, so the price is starting to go up a little bit. So they're not contiguous. It looks like there's a piece. So it's probably be good for reselling, like if you want to resell the pieces. Fronting Route 66. Okay, so they're on the highway. That's pretty nice. Don't have really good. This might be section range township numbers though. But let's see if I can point out where these are on the map. So the property is, oh, whoops, what'd I do? Our property's, let me start over. Property I've got up for sale is here next to Barstow. This property that we're looking at is 50 acres for 35 grand, and Amboy is out this direction. It's out to 40. Amboy is, here's Amboy. In Ludlow, Route 66 drops off the 40. And there's an old railroad track that used to go through here, and so all these little towns were where the railroad would stop for water and stuff, and so they're all ghost towns basically. And it's a beautiful area. I mean, not that many people around. You could get land for next to nothing. And so when I've mailed offers to the whole county to buy land from people, this is like the first place here, and up by Cuddleback Lake, that previous one. Like, these are the cheapest kind of armpits of the county to buy land in. Which is, if you're going for the cheapest land, the big acreage stuff, these are good areas to do it. But they're cheap because there's not much of anything around. It's hard. They're windy. They're rough, right? I mean, it's not like people are really building houses there much. It's off-roading, camping, having fun out in the countryside kinds of land, from my experience. So that's where this 50 acres is. It's somewhere along with Route 66 here near Amboy. And that's probably great for the right person. It's probably great property. So what's up next? 53 acres by 29 Palms. I was really scratching my head about this one. The properties I've had around 29 Palms usually sell pretty easily. 40 grand for 53 acres. That sounds like a really good deal. So I was looking at this the other day, and it's like kind of confusing. They're next to Marine Base. It says this area must be close to water. Driving through part of it gives a feel of swampland. The road gets very bad at one point, so I did not actually get to the property. Took photos of surrounding area. There's no sign of power or water in this area. If you want complete seclusion, then this is the property for you. Sorry, no sign on this one. Don't wait, call now. Okay, so 50-something acres next to the Marine Base. Let's see if we can figure out what he's talking about. So 29 Palms is so it's up here. The property we're talking about is by Barstow, but this San Bernardino County is a really big county. So you've got 29 Palms here, Joshua Trees here, kind of one of the entrances, backside Joshua Tree comes through 29 Palms. And 29 Palms and Wonder Valley, like this whole area here, was homesteaded off back in the day. You could get these 5-acre parcels, and if you built like a little tiny cabin on there, like 600 square foot, or I don't even know if it had to be 600 square foot, like something tiny, you could get the property. So if you improved it a little bit, you got the property. So a lot of these properties have an old slab on them where someone built a cabin that since has been blown away or stolen or whatever. So that's usually what I'm used to in that countryside. But the a bigger acreage by the military base, let's see, where's the military base? I thought it's like right in here. There's the airport. That's the public airport. So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe this is the military base. Yeah, okay, here's the military base. I thought it was a little south of there. So like a swampy area around there with 50 acres. And it's probably some of this stuff over here the guy's talking about. One of these funny patches of hard to get to land. So that's a different kind of buyer than I think the property I have is. If you want land with some bush on it, no one can get there, and that could be it. Let's see what's up next. 80 acres, Kramer Junction. So this is up by the Cuddleback Lake again. Let's see if they got some. Can be subdivided into two 40-acre parcels. 1 unit per 40-acre parcel can be built. This is raw land, price to sell. Seller may carry. Okay, so they're talking about cutting an 80 into two 40s. It'll probably cost you a year and a half's worth of time to cut it in half, and a couple $1,000 of getting it staked and mapped and run through the county. But yeah, you could probably, with zoning, cut them up and sell them. You could probably do that with mine too. I think you could probably cut them more. So I think the county lets you cut them 4 ways pretty easily before you get into more paperwork. So I think you could take the 80, you could take my 80, or I don't know about the zoning on theirs, but I think you could take my 80 and cut it up into 4 20s and do the same thing. Cost a couple $1,000 with a surveyor, a year and a half kind of timeline to get it all the way through, and then you can sell the pieces. So this is up by Kramer Junction. I'll show you that again. So let's zoom out. Let's turn the map on. This is my property by Barstow. Kramer Junction is up here somewhere. It's not showing up on the map. Here's Kramer Junction. 58 and 395 coming together is Kramer Junction. Yes, here, so it's saying Kramer. So this is the area that it's in, and it's close to Barstow. We're getting closer to Barstow, closer to supplies, closer to stuff, closer to town. So it's getting more interesting. There's a lot of vacant land in this area. So that's $40,000 for 80 acres, and we can't zoom in on it and see like the actual location. I don't know, maybe if we blow up this picture and get creative and line that map up to some other maps, we could figure it out. But they don't just tell you. I wish they'd just tell you where it was. 50 acres Adelanto, 48,900. That's now we're talking. 50 acres Adelanto for 48. It's almost $1,000 an acre. Any properties I've had in that area sold really fast. So here's a APN numbers. Let's see if we pull up the location. So I think, yeah, I already looked this one up because I was researching this before. Yeah, this was the last one I had pulled up. Okay, so Adelanto Here's Adelanto. This property is still a ways out of Adelanto. Maybe if it's a little closer to town, it'd be a little easier to sell. But there's a bunch of land out here that's not being used that guys have been grabbing up. In the last year, there are properties that had in Adelanto in the past people bought because you can get permits to grow commercial marijuana in Adelanto. And so when that was getting okayed and people were doing that, that land was flying off the shelf. I don't know if it's still the case or not, because since then California's opened up a lot more areas. But Adelanto is still a beautiful area, nice colors. There's roads. It might even be power lines in here. So here's one of the properties they're talking about. Here's another one. I don't know where the other one is. I don't know, but here's two of the three he's talking of. And well, 24, I can look at the map. 26. Let's see what the next one is. Oh, right here. Okay. So 20, 20, and 10, right? 50 acres. There's little roads to all of them, so that could be interesting. If you wanted to keep the 10, you could probably buy the whole thing and sell the 20s for enough to just keep the 10, or keep one of the 20s, sell the others to lower your costs. That's an interesting one. Adelanto, the land trade's a lot easier. It's closer to this dry lake, but not in it. Recreation area. You can go drive your dirt bikes and everything all over the place here, and it's not very far from Los Angeles, really. So that's an interesting one. That's a good contender. 50 acres for almost 50 grand. The next one that's up for sale in the market is the 80 acres I'm talking about. 80 acres for 49 grand. That's me, Luke Smith here. So that's the lineup of the market. I think this one is the closest to town. It's the closest to supplies. It's got the best road accessing it. Well, I guess one of them was right off the Route 66, but I just think it looks like an easy one you could drive up to and go make your own. I also pulled up Landpin. Landpin has some other ones that are up for sale. Yeah, Deed Ventures. He didn't seem to show up on Land Watch. But he's got these 160 acres for 29 grand and 160 acres for 29 grand. He's got two different ones. You could buy them in parts. He's had them up for sale for a while. Just like mine's been up for sale for a while. Those are probably good ones to look at too, but I think I've got to cut this video short. If you want to buy this one, please give me a call. Let me know. I've got a buy it now link on here, which is asking for a $500 down payment, and I'll start doing the paperwork from there to get the rest of the money transferred in, just to hold it for you if you want to run with that. And if you want to run it through title or however you want to do it, let me know. We can set up the paperwork to make it happen. And feel free to go take a look at the property and see if this is the right one for you. Luke Smith, ruralvacantland.com. Thank you.